We're recapping the action from January alongside McGilla Gorilla. My name's Muckety Muck, and we're bringing you this exclusive action here online. And I tell you what, you got to be here in person. The action that we saw here in January at Midwest Sport Hockey with the arch-rival Roller Girls and the St. Louis Keepers was top-notch. Mother Nature tried to keep us away, but we got 500 in the building. It was a great night of action.
Great crowd, great night of action, great games for the women and the men. A fun night tonight. If you missed it, you missed out. We'll see you in February, though.
I tell you what, we had ourselves a lot of intriguing storylines coming into our women's battle that led things off between the Stunt Devils and the Smashinistas. The Smashies, they had not lost a bout in a long time, and we talked about how impressed we were with the Stunt Devils in their first round last month against the M80s. Tell you what, there was some added additions to the puzzle for the Stunt Devils in their matchup against the Smashies, and boy, they came out of firing. It was quite a fun bout.
It really was. The Stunt Devils are clearly a team ascending, I think, at this point. Smashinistas had an additional piece that they added this time, too. Came up short tonight, though, and we'll see how that worked out. Boy, was it a good affair.
Let's take a look at first period action. The Smashies were up 10-2 early on in this contest, about 6 minutes deep, but then the scoreboard was flipped after this 20-point power jam from Bricktator, and the Stunt Devils grabbed their first lead of the contest.
Oh, Bricktator. She had 60 points in power jams in the first half. Actually, strangely enough, didn't score any regular strength jams, but all in the power jam, and they were deadly.
They were up by a dozen points, and they kept that differential at double digits at around that same clip as the period progressed. At about a midway point of the first period of play, only being up by 10, they blew it wide open. Bricktator again, another power jam. This one yielded 19.
It just seemed like everything kept falling her way whenever she was out there jamming on the power jam. She's so good, she's so talented, you cannot give her the extra advantage of not having another jammer against her on the track.
Stunt Devils led 92-82 at halftime. In the second period of play, we saw the Smashies, when they were behind the 8-ball, they kept whittling back and whittling back and whittling back. And this, at about the midway point of the second period of play, a 4-point strike from Brickyard. These were crucial points being notched up by the Smashies in trying to keep pace.
Brickyard was solid all night. She actually was very good in the second half. She had a really important jam in the first half that made the difference so close. But in the second half, she was the main scoring points for the Smashinistas.
Deep into this contest, the Stunt Devils really capitalized on the penalties the Smashinistas were occurring, and a name that we did not see last month here at Midwest Sport Hockey made her presence known. Mighty Boston notching up 16 off of this rotation.
Just like a comfortable shoe. You slip it on, you feel so nice. Mighty Boston's back, everything's fine. She slides right in, does what she does. Great solid effort tonight in the first and second half.
Stunt Devils go on to outscore the Smashinistas 79-56. They go on to the 171-138 victory over the Smashinistas to improve to 1-1 on the season. What a great effort from everybody involved. Let's hear from the veteran with a magnificent trucker's hat. Here's Grave Danger.
We have a lot of new talent on our team this year, so it really did take us the first game or so to kind of gel and see what our weaknesses were, what our strengths were, and how we were going to overcome the challenges that we had as a team. And I feel like we're close. I mean, we played well tonight. We were able to overcome the Smashies, but it was a close game, and it was anybody's game.
Smashies fall to 1-1 with the setback. First time in a long time we see them drop a bout, but they'll be back in action next month against the M80s. Let's hear from Party Rocker.
Just like, I think we gave them a huge run for the money in the sense that, you know, we still brought our solid walls. We still had a pretty good jammer rotation. I mean, like, they got lead jammer a lot more than we did, and we did suffer a lot of jammer penalties, but like at halftime, we were within 10 points when we were at a huge deficit at the beginning of the half. So either way, it's like, even though that it was a tough loss and it sucks losing, but at the same time, I think that we played the best that we could possibly have played in general.
So here's how the standings shape up after 3 events here in this 2014-15 campaign. And boy, oh boy, my friends, you got to get yourselves a calculator out for this one. All 3 teams sporting identical 1-1 records. As a result of point differential, the M80 sport the top spot in the ARRG standings with a differential of plus 26. Smashinistas at 1-1. They have a differential of -1. The Stunt Devils at minus 25. But, you know, with all the mathematics we were talking about, this one was an impressive, eye-opening win here by the Stunt Devils. And, you know, just as we anticipated going into the season, this is anybody's championship this year.
It really is. I mean, the record being in third place for the Stunt Devils, even with a win, doesn't really mean much. There's a lot to go on. It's a team that's going up. For the Smashinistas, they didn't seem as sharp as normal. Right. They seemed like they gave up some easy lead jams to the other side, and they had a lot of penalty problems, especially in the jammer rotation. And from someone like Brickyard, we normally don't see that. They were really struggling to find scoring beyond Brickyard and Enya Nightmare, and so that's something they have to look forward to going ahead.
It looks like a fresh new season coming up on February 7th. We'll take a look at the matchup here in just a little bit. Now let's talk about the continuation of the Turf Wars campaign. Two teams coming into tonight's battle, the Riverfront Crimes and the Dogtown Rockets. Neither one had notched up a victory yet this season. But with a couple of the changes in the roster and the personnel that we saw from both squads, we knew that somebody was going to grab that brass ring and grab sole possession of second place here in the Turf Wars campaign.
We did, and we thought that might be the Riverfront Crimes. The addition of Indecent Exposure as a jammer, as well as Percy Control, in a trade that took place essentially in the offseason, that may be enough to bump them up. The Rockets had other ideas.
Let's take a look at first half action. The Rockets were up by 3 very early on, but one of those new faces for the Riverfront Crimes, flipping the scoreboard about 8 minutes deep. Awful Sauce scores 5 for the Crimes.
He was a nice plus. They need that in their gem rotation.
Crimes would stretch the lead up to double digits, and eventually they would pull out to about an 18-point lead. But with about 10 minutes left, the Rockets start climbing back, and one of the veterans really making a statement here with about 9 minutes left to go in the first period of play. Magnum PIMP scores 16.
Boy, he's just so good still. After all these years, it seemed like we've been watching him for a long time. He and Shane Bauer went back to back to back for about the last 15 minutes. It was a heroic effort to push them.
Rockets only down by a dozen at intermission, 81-69. And in the second period of play, wow, they really got the offense rolling. A star pass here about 10 minutes deep into period number 2 results in 15 points for Shane Bauer.
Yeah, that was the start of when Shane just kind of sort of took control as a jammer. You could just see he was really had that fire in his belly to go forward, and he dominated in the second half.
They would inevitably flip the scoreboard about midway through the second period of play, and then they would post on points in huge margins there. Bauer collects 14 off of this jam with 4 minutes left.
He just kept on trucking in the second half. He went every other jam with Magnum PIMP. And the blockers for the Rockets really turned it up in the last 10 to 15 minutes.
Almost a 2-to-1 ratio in the second period of play. Rockets outscore the Crimes 111-67 in the second period. They go on to the 180-148 victory over the Riverfront Crimes to notch their first victory of the season and notch up second place in the Turf Wars standings. Let's talk to Kurt Mango.
You know, we tightened up and realized that we were playing sloppy and not playing together. And when we finally had 4 guys on the track, staying on the track, and just getting together and getting in the jammers' way, we found a groove, and our jammers really did what they do best.
Crimes dropped to 0-2 with the setback. They're going to be idle in February, but there's still plenty of time to get this team functioning and making a push for Chaffetz. Let's hear from the same.
Our first game, we weren't healthy. We were missing a number of skaters, so hopefully we can all get on the track, and then we can start working together, and I think we can build. Even on this loss, we can still build on some things.
So here's a look at the standings right now. The Slammers currently perfect at 2-0. The Rockets with their victory notch up the 1-1 campaign, and right now the Crimes back at 0-2. But I tell you what, it's now anybody's contest here in the Turf Wars campaign.
It really is. We don't know what the Slammers are going to look like with the changes to their own roster. And I tell you what, the Rockets, kind of like the stunts we talked about earlier with the women, the Rockets seem like a team that's coming together at the right time. They're moving in the right direction. They look to be forceful. It'll be interesting to see how they go against the Slammers. If they get the upset, it's anybody's game then.
Let's take a look at what's up on the docket Saturday night, February the 7th. We lead things off with the Gatekeepers action with the Dogtown Rockets against the South Grand Slammers. Can't wait for that one to get underway. And then, of course, another big battle with the arch-rival Roller Girls. It's the M80s versus the Smashinistas with 1-1 records across the board. Of course, from here on out, every game's important.
Really is. We're going to see someone officially in first place with 2 wins for the women. And for the men, can someone take down the Slammers? Have the Rockets matured that much? Have they grown that much? Did that second half surge give them the confidence they needed? It's possible, and it's possible things are going to get really crazy at the standings.
Once again, Saturday night, February the 7th, Dogtown Rockets versus the Slammers with the Turf Wars campaign. And for the arch-rival Roller Girls, it's the M80s versus the Smashinistas. Come on out and be a part of the great action. We launch at 6:30. And, of course, if you want to find out more information on these 2 great leagues, well, here's a couple of ways to do it. Visit the official websites for both the arch-rival Roller Girls and St. Louis Gatekeepers. You can become fans and like their official Facebook pages, or you can follow them via the Twitter at these 2 Twitter addresses. Gorilla, a great night, and I noticed you got the big giant calculator I gave you for holidays here, and it looks like you're going to have to put it to work as this interesting campaign continues.
It's so close, you need a calculator to figure it out. That's how intense it is. If you miss anything, you won't know what's going to happen because it's going to take a calculator to figure it out. I'm telling you. I'm ready. I'm ready to go, guys.
Big buttons, that's what we utilize here. Folks, you'll want to join us here on February the 7th. Make sure you get your tickets early. For Miguel the Gorilla, my name's Mucky the Muck, and thanks so much for watching The Rewind.